Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Mao Ryoshu as well as Mao Outis. These characters are without a doubt ridiculously broken as like Rupture characters and even good enough to be used by themselves if you really want, because these characters are just insanely strong, right? So these characters have two types of coin power gains. They gain one by being faster. They also gain one by being Rupture potency. This applies for everything with slight differences because this one also has a damage multiplier on top of the coin power +1. This one does not. But it has a reuse coin at 10 speed. All of the skills have an effect at 10 speed. So you want to be at 10 speed, and to get 10 speed you need to have Strider Mao. Strider Mao is gotten from your skill tree or your defense skill. Skill tree is also going to get coin power +2 from speed differences, and also 15 Rupture potency for coin power +1 instead of 4 for all of these other skills over here. So these skills will roll very high. Do the math yourself. Basically, you just add all the coin power over here, add it all up, and then remember you are also reusing coin on skill 3 and skill 1, so you can add additional coin power in terms of damaging. So these characters are really disgusting in terms of their coin power, but because of the Rupture potency requirement to get the additional +1 coin power, it's highly recommended that you use them in a Rupture team. Otherwise you only become a +2 coin power, but +2 coin power is already very massive. This one's already +1, this one's already +1. That's already not bad as a generalist character. So that's why I said that this character is actually not bad as a generalist, but really wants Rupture to become extremely powerful. Next, the Rupture count for this character is incredibly good. Blink Step is already Rupture neutral. Clash win, just make sure you win the clash. Then you inflict +1 Rupture count. After that, -1 here, and then after that, +1, -1, +1, -1, for a total of 0 in total, right? You eat 3 and you regain 3, so it's very neutral, very powerful skill just to use if you have no choice but to use it. But you need to try and clash win with it. But with the coin power making this a 15, it does have some skills that will be able to be won for this character. Very strong character. Skill 2 also have damage bonus over here, coin power +1, coin power +1 for a total of +8 over here, 8, 16, 16, 22, very nice. And then you also get damage bonus here, and Clash Win must be Clash Win to inflict the +1 Rupture count. And then after that you need to be also 10 speed to inflict another +1 Rupture count. So you need these two requirements to become Rupture neutral. Otherwise, if you only Clash Win, then you are not able to get this part over here, then you only become -1 Rupture count. But either way, -1 is also not the end of the world for this kind of skill, because you're also inflicting Rupture potency, and you also get 30% damage here and 50% damage here on a 2-coiner skill. So it's still going to be quite a beefy skill, and it's also a green skill in the purposes of just activating your Talisman Sinclair if you want to, right? Skill 3 is going to be the Demon, where you get all of this coin power over here, all of this damage multipliers, 50% here, 30% here, and then after that you also have a passive that gives you 5% and 5% if you have Death Right applied to the target. This skill 3 is going to be a disgusting monstrosity, where it has a reuse coin, so it's a 4-coiner with a bunch of coin power, and it's also inflicting Rupture, and you're also hitting the target with Rupture on them, and you also have multipliers going on, and it's just disgusting. You will destroy anything you hit with this skill tree, assuming you are fast enough to get the difference and you have enough Rupture to get additional coin power +1. The requirements are basically making this a daily cash out skill. Your skill tree is your cash out, but the skill tree also gives you additional 3 Strider Mao. Take note that Strider Mao gives you 5 haste next turn, not this turn. So this on use is only to refresh you for future skill 1, skill 2 uses, or maybe skill 3 if you have replaced the skill in the mirror dungeon. Then this skill is going to be absolutely disgusting. That additional Strider Mao is just going to refresh you, and then later on you can use your defense skill halfway, and then after that you will basically be guaranteed to get another Strider Mao stack for the skill 3, right? Then your Clash Win inflict +2, on hit +1, and then you have a reuse coin, so that means it's a total of 4 coins and +3 Rupture count, so you are going to be -1 Rupture count at worst. But your best is insane. With Death Right Haste being applied, if you are at 10 speed, then you lose 1 stack of Death Right Haste, and then you gain +1 Rupture count. The enemy will gain that +1 Rupture count, which means that +3 now becomes, I apply Death Right. Second coin, third coin, fourth coin, the reuse coin will trigger Death Right, making me another +3 Rupture count. So I'm now +6 Rupture count. And then I reapply the Death Right haste on hit. Take note, this is important because you cannot gain additional stacks of Death Right when it's already active. So you must eat all of the Death Right before you're able to replace it. So after all of these skills perfectly eat the Death Right, you apply Death Right for your Outis to go and take, for your Sang Massault to go and take, or for you to go and take. Take note, this is independent from Sang Massault's passive. So that means that Sang Massault can be Rupture positive because he doesn't doesn't consume it, and he's fast enough, and he applies it, and he consumes Death Right to give himself additional plus Rupture count positivity. Very, very amazing Death Right haste. Super, super good. Just need to make sure you're at 10 speed, but there's one little problem here. This character has 4 to 7 speed, which means that Strider Mao giving you only 5 means that there is a 25% chance at 4 speed to only gain 5 speed, then you are 9 speed, then you will not be able to get the 10 speed requirement. The way to fix that, just use your skill 2 before you use your skill 3 or your skill 1, because you get additional 2 haste next turn, or just RNG it, because you have a 75% chance to get a 10 speed roll on your next turn no matter what, as long as you have Strider Mao activated. So this character, just little bit of management here with the skill 2 into skill 3, so you are guaranteed to get the 10 speed, or you can just forget about it, press the win rate button and just let RNG take the wheel for your skill 3 shenanigans. That's also quite okay, honestly, because even though you miss out the reuse coin here, you're still getting all of these buffs activated as long as you're managing it well. But of course, you still try to do it just to min-max a little bit, alright? Then after that, you have your defense skill to give you Strider Mao at round start if you really don't have your skill 3 at round start. And then after that, you also gain base power +1 for every 2 speed difference for a total of 15 coin. This is a 13 by default and a 15 with the 2 base power bonuses over here. 15 is the exact same roll as your skill 1, so it's perfectly even, but the counter skill here inflicts +1 rupture count for a total of 0 rupture count consumed. So you hit and then you apply +1, is perfect. Skill 1 is also neutral, defense is also neutral. Skill 1 just has a reuse coin on it, which means that you probably want to be using Blink Step as much as possible, but you use the defense if you need to trigger the green resonance and also gain your Strider Mao, of course, because skill 1 does not give you Strider Mao. So this character, as you can see here, is basically something like use defense, gain Strider Mao, activate skill 2, skill 1 at your leisure. Just make sure you have one skill 2 so that when the skill 3 comes, you use skill 2 into skill 3 to guarantee that you have 10 speed, and then you get your Strider Mao back, and then after that you just go do whatever you want. And after that, defense, set up into skill 3, defense, blah 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 blah, repeat, 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 repeat. And that's basically the order of this character. That's all you need to do. Just make sure you clash win every single thing, and this character will win you the game. Uptide 3 is not really that viable because you only have coin power +1 for Rupture, and then your skill 3 is going to be only speed related, and you lose out on the Rupture potency, giving you additional coin power, and it's only coin power +1 as well. So Uptide 3 is really not that strong, but +1 coin power is still going to be enough to make these characters quite decent. Uptide 4 is highly recommended because you gain +1 coin power just straight up as a base stat, and then after that you also gain coin power +1 and then coin power +1. So Uptide 4 is basically mandatory for these characters, and even though you lose the Rupture part if you use her in Unga Bunga team comps, she's still extremely powerful, especially if you use her with Outis, because the two of them are somewhat able to kind of apply a bit of Rupture onto their targets, so they might be able to get coin power on skill 2 and skill 1. Maybe not skill 3 level of getting that coin power, but enough that skill 2 and skill 1 will be able to do it, because they still are fast, and the fast part gives you the coin power, and the fast part also gives you the ability to go and hit enemies with Death Right, allowing you to maintain a measly 4 Rupture potency onto the target, definitely, right? So that's only like the starting point of how strong these characters are, right? These characters already, you see this is like super strong. Outis is also going to be extremely strong, namely because she has this one ego over here. If you don't know what this ego is, basically this is Ebony Stem, the season 0 ego. This season 0 ego gives Outis one of the most powerful skills in the game, which is on hit with a hits coin, inflict 1 bind and +1 rupture count next turn. Oh my god, it doesn't matter what kind of coin it is, and all of your hits with hits is +1 rupture count. Basically, as long as you have 45 sanity, you have a 95% chance to give yourself additional +1 rupture count. And this Outis is a Rupture Outis with a lot of green skills, and this whole team can fund Ebony Stem no problemo. Alright, so the power of the Outis here is that she is an unopposed attacker and she has a free +1 rupture count in her ego, and that's the tax that you need to use to make this character a pretty decent character, because without that +1 rupture count from her ego, her skills become quite negative in terms of rupture count application. Skill 1 has no rupture count at all. It literally is all potency, which means that you will be -3 on this thing without the Ebony Stem ego to help make it maybe a 0 or sometimes a -1 if you're not able to roll all of them as hits. Take note, this is a reuse coin as well, so in the worst scenario you might roll all of them as tails and then you -3 rupture count. Very rare, but it is possible, right? So This is why Ebony Stem is such a powerful tool for this character. It's basically a tax. You must use it, otherwise you have a pretty hard time managing this character. And Ebony Stem is still a very, very powerful thing because it applies Bind, and Bind lets you become faster than your target for the coin power. Insane synergy. Amazing character for Ebony Stem. Skill 2 is going to be on unopposed attack, so it's different from Ryoshu. You don't want to really be hitting your opponents with this character. You actually want to bypass them and hit the enemy directly. But this character is still a very Unga Bunga character. She can totally win whatever clash that you need her to win the clash with, because even though she's +1/+1/+1, you remember you still have Ebony Stem, which means that if you roll hits here, you are +1 and another +1, then you +1 here and another +1, and this unopposed attack here doesn't really matter. It could give you an additional +1, but you don't need so much rupture count, just enough to maintain a certain level of rupture count. This character is already very powerful with the Ebony Stem, and with this, it's like, oh, it's just a little bonus. If I have to clash, I just clash, because coin power +1/+1, that's going to be 8, 16, 22. Still very, very phenomenal. Skill 2, basically an ego level of a skill 2. Very, very good, right? And you gain 1 haste next turn 2 times per turn. So this is 1 less than your Ryoshu. Ryoshu gains 2 haste and this is 1 haste. But because your Ebony Stem applies a bind, this shit doesn't really matter in terms of speed differences, right? This 1 haste is also sufficient to make you into a 5 speed, and 5 speed plus your Strider 5 speed is 10 speed. So it's still enough for you to be able to hit the 10 speed requirements for some of the skills here, like 30% damage or reuse coin or reuse coin again, right? So still very, very important thing for Ebony Stem, and also for the haste skill 2 into skill 3 is still a requirement basically. Right, then your skill 3, Curse Reed Butcher Blade. This skill 3 has inflict +2 rupture count on unopposed attack, but once again we need to pay the Ebony Stem tax. Otherwise, without the Ebony Stem, this is going to be +2 rupture count, then we hit -1, -2, -3, and then reuse -4. So that's going to be a -2 rupture count in total, right? If we are able to trigger the reuse coin. But with the Ebony Stem, instead this skill becomes insane. It's +2 rupture count, +1, +1, +1, reuse +1 for a total of +6 rupture count, and then ends up you are a +2 rupture count. So that is still going to be a massive gain. And remember, you are inflicting rupture potency with every single one of these. 1, 2, 3, reuse 4. For Ryoshu, by the way, this one over here, this reuse is 3, which means that you inflict 1 rupture potency and then 6 rupture potency with the reuse. So extremely powerful characters for rupture stacking, extremely powerful characters because they have so much damage multipliers on all of their skills. For Outis, she gets a little bit less multiplier. She has 50% here, the 30% where they go, it went over here instead. And then the skill 1 is reuse coin with no multiplier. Skill 2 also does not have the potency times speed multiplier like you see on Ryoshu. Only skill 3 has that line here. So Outis damage output wise is going to be a bit less than Ryoshu, but they're still best friends. You still want to use them together because Death Right is such a ridiculously powerful skill. And remember how I just told you that this is only going to be a +6? Yeah, I forgot to add in Death Right, because if you add in Death Right, now you get another +3. So you are now +9 in total. So you get a +5 rupture count. Rupture is saved. Oh my god, it's so powerful. It's actually so powerful. And then after that, your passive also, if you have Strider Mao and the target has Death Right, then you also inflict 15% extra damage. So your best friend is once again Ryoshu. Take note that Death Right you can trigger as long as the target is 10 plus speed. You are 10 plus speed, which means that your Sanctum Assault, who occasionally can become 10 speed because he likes to go really fast, is going to be able to get this as well sometimes. So he's able to make himself do some positive rupture count application, even though he is 15 and 3 already. 15 and 3 disables your rupture count application, but because Death Right is not part of his kit, it's part of your kit, you are still able to go and trigger this to apply rupture count to the target. Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Of course, it's not ideal to let your Sanctum Assault go and take it because these guys get more damage multiplier from it, but it doesn't really matter because you apply 99 rupture eventually and they're gonna die really, really fast. So these characters, insanely powerful. The defense, once again, is a bit weaker than Ryoshu's. It has -1 base power, if I remember correctly. Or is it coin power? It's one of the two. Basically, it's a 12, then you +2 base power for 14. So it's 1 less than Ryoshu. The skill 1 here is going to be +2 coin power for 5, 10, 10, 14 as well. So you see the skills are a little bit weaker than Ryoshu's, but it ultimately still does not matter. This character is still insanely powerful because of this skill tree being absolutely disgusting. And if they made 2 Ryoshu's, then Rupture would be absolutely disgusting. Because this skill here will have so much multiplier again, and you will do so much damage again. So yeah, it will just be too good, I think, because Rupture is already winning with these additions here. Take note the skill tree is also Gloom, right? So if you want to run ADD Gregor just to get even more Rupture count on top of the already ridiculous Rupture count, you can actually make your skill tree become even more positive by adding ADD Gregor and Ebony Stem Otis for a combination of +2 Rupture count on every single one of your coins. So that is pretty ridiculous, and I think it's actually too much Rupture count. At this point, we probably need potency, and hey, defense is Gluttony, and skill 2 is Gluttony, so Talisman Sinclair is no problem at all, and the support is also Resonance for a damage multiplier of 10%, and also give your allies +1 haste, so not bad as well if you want to leave her on the bench. Overall, these two characters are insanely strong characters for the Rupture team, and basically must-gets for Rupture. For Unga Bunga wise, they're also solid enough that I think they can be used, but they are high investment. You need to uptie for them, while there are still some characters out there for new players who can be used at uptie 3. So not the highest value investments for new players, but still extremely powerful investment that eventually you can just make this kind of Rupture team over here in the future, right? We can get rid of this one, we can get rid of this one. We just use what? We just use Lantern over here. We just use the 7 Association Faust. So 1, 2, 3, that's 3 3-stars. Add in the 2 new 3-stars over here, and then add in 1 more 3-star over here, right? So that is going to be a total of 6 3-stars. Yes, I said Dawn is a 3-star because this character is basically a 3-star character. She's insanely good character, and she also has a green guard skill. With that guard skill added, right, basically this character here does not have a guard skill with green on it, and also I think Sank Massault does not have a guard skill with green on it. So what happens is that we now have Otis and Ryoshu who have green guards, we have Deviat who has green guard, and we have Lantern with green guard. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 resonance, activate Talisman Sinclair, stonks are up. I do not need to use an ego, I do not need to specifically set up for this talisman anymore. I can just get 4 greens whenever I want, and all of my characters are amazing clashers. Rupture is winning, oh my god, it's so good. And you can also use your LCE Yisang at the start and just use him to just go and die, then apply Rupture to the targets and give yourself some ego energy, and then after that swap in like one of these other characters here, because the Mao Outis passive is still very powerful, right? So there's a lot of really good shit that you can use here in this party, and it's just, oh, so good. Rupture is so good. Whew. My god, I can't wait to get these characters. I'm definitely going to be dispensing these characters, but I will not be pulling for them because I want to save up for Walpurgis / Arknight's banner. Alright, so now the realistic thing for the new players, like I said before, you can pull for them, but one of them is free. Otis is free, which means all you need to do is do the event. If you can't do the event, just do the main story, you will get the currency. Extraction wise, you are only pulling for 1 Ryoshu, which I think is not actually very worth it. So you might as well go and dispense this character and save your Walpurgis, your Lunacy resources just for Walpurgis or for any other future characters that you might want to get, especially since the Honglu storyline is coming close already. After the Sweeper storyline, we are supposed to be basically going towards the new Honglu Kanto at this point, and after that there will be some crazy Honglu ID, and then at that point you might want to consider using your resources to be pulling for that, or pull on the next Walpurgis instead, and maybe this character will appear. So yeah, this character, once again, I will not recommend to new player, but if your heart tells you to go and do it, or your credit card tells you, hey, I will unleash myself, then just go and do it, you know, like don't care about whatever advice I just gave you. I will be 100% dispensing these characters, but if you must get her now, then go ahead and either wait a little bit or just go and pull her. It's up to you really, right? So that's going to be it, I think. I should have covered most of the fancy stuff that you can do now with the Rupture team, and basically these characters are best friends with the Sank Massault wanting to go fast as well. These 3 are just the bestest of friends now. Go fast, apply Death Right, and win the game, everyone. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. If I missed anything, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. This was an absolute banger to go and look at. Oh, when I saw that reuse coin and the haste and the coin power, I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way these characters are not some of the toppest tier Rupture characters I will ever see. And yep, they are some of the toppest tier characters that I've ever seen. Holy shit, man. The amount of damage output you will get from these characters on top of the Rupture that you will do in terms of damage is just ridiculous. Whew. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye bye.